And that's how you make a fucking main card to a
Look at
UFC International Fight Week. God damn.
Way to go. Let me give you a little round of applause for that. I like that. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. All right. Welcome to another episode of Two Fight Fans. We talk about all things in a combat sports. I'm one fight fan, Colin.
And I'm the other Stuart.
Stubby, how was your weekend though? Before we get into all this.
A wonderful Easter weekend. About 30 things exploded in my personal life, and I'm just living amongst the debris of it, just like Leonardo DiCaprio holding on to the door at the end of Titanic. Sometimes you just gotta let the cold take you. You gotta let go of that door and go, at the end of the situation, as I sink to the bottom of the icy depths, I will feel warm, because that's what happens to people that freeze to death. How are you feeling, Colin?
Well, I had a better weekend than you, but part of it was some of the news that came out that maybe I brighten your day a little bit here.
All right, let's do it.
So, did you know that UFC 317, that's supposed to be the marquee summer card. It's the end of International Fight Week in Las Vegas. It's always one of the biggest cards of the whole year. So we already know that it is likely that Pantoja will be fighting against Kai Kara France there, right?
Love it. Sex on a plate. Let's do it.
Yep. But there was rumors that DDP would defend his title against Khamzat that weekend as well.
I love that. That sounds so good.
Okay, but however, DDP
bit in my mashed potato. Tell me.
Yep. Is injured right now, so he may not make it to that fight. But do you know who has said they will step in and they want to fight for possibly an interim title?
Lay it on me.
Kyle Bahalio.
All right. That's cool-ish.
This is a rumor here, so nothing confirmed, but in the event that DDP does have to step out, he is injured and can't face Khamzat Chimaev, who would be a good interim title matchup against Khamzat in the middleweight division? Would it be Kyle Bahalio, or is there someone else that you would like? Maybe I'm late to the train. I know you were way high on all of them, but I'm a big fan of the fighting nerds now. I love all of them. I want to see more of them. I'm with it. But what would you like to see?
Yeah, we like that. So, okay, is this supposed to be the main event?
I think
International Fight Week.
I think so.
Like, Khamzat Chimaev good, Kai Bahalio, like that's like just jam on toast, right? Like that's not an amazing breakfast. That's not a great sort of main event. I suppose that's fine as a co-main. Is there a better middleweight we can match up Khamzat Chimaev against to make it a more sexy, I assume, main event for what is supposed to be the biggest card of the year outside of Madison Square Garden? We've got Nasruddin Imavov at number 1. Sean Strickland at number 2.
No.
You could do Izzy versus Khamzat. Maybe a fucking rematch between Whitaker and Izzy. Here's my thing. I do love Kai Bahalio. I do love the fighting nerds. But like, Kai Bahalio is the least interesting of the fighting nerds.
Yeah.
He's no Ruffy. He's no Long John, Blue Jean, Jeannie Valjean Silva. He's the least interesting of the fighting nerds. And so, him against Chimaev for an interim title, even though didn't Dricus du Plessis just fight like 3 months ago?
Exactly. Yeah.
That could be a co-main or like a third spot on the main card, but it's definitely not headlining material for International Fight Week, dude. Yeah. In that vein, who should be main eventing International Fight Week, Colin?
Okay, well, if it's not gonna be DDP and Hamzat, it should
Yeah.
be the flyweight title, but they probably won't feature the flyweights as the main event of this big marquee event, you know?
Right. Well, because it's Pantoja Kaikara France, a sexy co-main event.
Yeah.
Probably not a great for the second or first biggest pay-per-view of the year. Probably not the biggest one. Who else do we have in a title fight that we could throw in there?
Oh, I have some, but I don't think they're gonna happen.
Yeah, but who should it be? No, no, no. We're not asking like what could. I'm saying like if the UFC was responsible and actually taking the time and effort to put on the best main event title fight that they could, what would it be?
Okay, so the best fight, not the one that if this fight was scheduled elsewhere would make more money, just the best fight right now,
Mhm.
Islam and Ilya.
Yeah, that's gotta be it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, you gotta fucking make that fight. I don't know what the fuck their issue is with not making that fight, but that's gotta be it.
yeah, yeah,
That's it. And if not that, it's gotta be Tom Aspinall, John Jones, right?
yeah, but that's never gonna happen.
Yeah. And if not that, it's gotta be Alex Pereira versus Ankalaev in the rematch, right?
Yeah, I'm liking this. I like this. Keep it going. Give me more. Give me more.
Dude, I mean, like, I don't got much more, but those 3 fights, and that's not even the rumor is that it was supposed to be DDP and Hamzat Chimaev.
Yeah.
We just named 3 other fights that are more interesting, and now they're going, should we do Hamzat versus Kai Bahalio as the main event for an interim title when you have 3 absolute, and I'm going to be the most old white dude here, crackerjack fights you could make. Like, and you're just not gonna make them. You're just not gonna. You're gonna be like, no, Islam can't fight Ilya. No, Pereira versus Ankalaev can't happen then. No, John Jones versus Tom Aspinall can't happen then. We better do Hamzat Chimaev versus, frankly, the most boring of the fighting nerds, Kai Bahalio, for an interim middleweight. Middleweight, the most mid division. It's not sexy heavyweight. It's not pound for pound best lightweight. We're just gonna go middleweight, interim championship. What are we on about? This is shameful, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Shameful shit. All right, but hold on. We've talked about this UFC. What is it? 3? Is
17.
it 17? Do
Yep.
we have any fights announced for this card other than the main event?
Yes, I believe Brandon Royval and Manal Kopp are also fighting.
Ooh, we love that.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's a heavyweight. Don't worry about that one.
Great. Okay, so we got Pantoja, Kaikara, France. Great. That's a great co-main event. Number 3, Royval, Manal Kopp. We love that. Okay, so we need 1, 2, 3 more fights. We need a main event and then 2 more on the main card. Colin, if you were to not let's not play the UFC's game of going, oh, it's too expensive. We can't make these guys fight. Let's talk about what, as fans, we would be most excited for. What would be your main
Oh,
event? And then the 2 opening fights on this card
okay.
overall.
Oh, Jesus. So, okay, main event, I would have Islam and Ilya.
I
Biggest
mean,
summer
yeah.
fight you could have ask for. That'd be
I
great.
mean, the dare you say the biggest fight in MMA you could make right now?
For
Number
the true
1,
fans,
number
yes.
2, yeah,
Yes.
pound for pound, yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah, yeah. And then y like, I wouldn't mind seeing Hamzat and Kyle Bahalio, but, like, not as a main event.
Mm,
I wouldn't mind
okay.
seeing if it was, like, the opener or, like, the second fight or even the
Mhm,
third fight. Let Manal Kopp and Brandon Royval be the opener, fine. You
mhm.
know, if this was, like, the third fight of the card, I would be fine with that. Um, and then after that, I think a lot of people already have fights that I would want to see. Yeah, okay, is Sean O'Malley for sure, like, set to fight Merab?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Mm, damn, because I was gonna say, like, if he wasn't slated to fight Merab now, is it Sean O'Malley versus, Corey Sandhagen again? Or
Mm. That'd be a sexy fight. But Corey Sandhagen's also fighting Divas and Figueiredo.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's a fourth? What's a fifth fight
Well, here,
that you would
let
love
me
to
let
see?
me tell you. I agree with you. Main event. It's got to be Ilya and Islam.
God, that'd
It's
be
the number
so good.
one and number two pound for pound fighters. This could be a passing of the torch to Ilya, in which he beats Alex, Max, and Islam in a row. Holy fucking shit! Or if Islam starches him, goddamn, that's worthwhile.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
that's gotta be your main event, or it's gotta be John Jones Aspinall. I'm not as interested in that fight, but it's gotta be one of those two to be like sexy sex.
Sexy sex.
Sexy sex, right? We have the flyweight championship, but then there is another belt in rotation, which I think we must consider,
Oh,
which
oh.
is Max Holloway's BMF belt. Max
Okay.
Holloway versus Dustin Poirier 3 as the
That
third fight
that's
on
been
this
announced.
event. When is it?
Let me find out. Hold on. I think that's been announced though.
Oh shit. Well, if it's been announced, then take it back. But I think that's like you gotta kind of do that, right?
Yeah, I thought that was announced.
I think it's been rumored that it is going to be a Max Holloway Dustin Poirier 3 fight, but
Mhm.
it's not been announced on any specific card overall.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I thought they announced it as with Dustin Poirier
Yeah.
for um for the
Look,
BMF title next.
I'm saying Islam Ilya main event. Co-main event, we've got Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. Third in that slot is the BMF title fight. Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier.
Oh
So the
my
question is,
god.
what comes in fourth? What comes in fifth? We already know Brandon Royval, Manal Kopp. Let's have them be the curtain jerker. So who is coming in that fourth ranked area?
Mhm.
You could do something like Yuri Prochazka versus Carlos Oberg. No issue there. But what
Mhm.
I really want to see, and this is kind of a weird fight, I want to see Blue Jean Silva versus Yair Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Based on
I
their
think
most recent performances, yeah, yeah.
yes. I think Long John Silva versus El Pantera, Yair Rodriguez. Fuck, dude. That fight is gonna be nasty, and I want
Yeah.
to see that.
Okay, okay.
And that's how you make a fucking main card to a
Look at that.
UFC International Fight Week. God damn.
Way to go. Let me give you a little round of applause for that. I like that. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
And if it's not gonna be that, because here's what Kevin Iole is saying. And Kevin Iole, listen, I don't like to talk about who fillets who's suckling upon who, but you know those fish that kind of like suck on the underside of a shark as it
Yep.
swims through the water? Yeah. Just think of that image. There's a man named Dana White who is a billionaire, and then there's a journalist named Kevin Iole who's definitely not a billionaire. I don't know. You draw the connections between whatever image I've painted in your mind and those two men. Kevin Iole has suggested that the UFC is heavily looking at Justin Gaethje versus Islam Makhachev. If that was announced for this card, Colin, how excited would you be to see Justin Gaethje fight Islam Makhachev?
I mean, uh, Justin Gaethje doesn't put on boring fights. So, like, from an
Mm-hmm.
entertainment value, yes, like, I like Justin Gaethje, I like what he's done, but at the same time, like, lightweight is the most competitive division, and
Mm-hmm.
he's been knocked down a few pegs, so he needs to work his way back up to in order to challenge for a title fight. And it may not be in the cards anymore just based on where he's at in his career and his age. And that's while that is really sad for me to say, that's the nature of, professional fighting. That's just
Mm-hmm.
what happens. So it is unfortunate, and it is it's two things. One, I don't think it's healthy for the division because again, we're just like log jamming at the top here. And two, I don't think it's healthy for Islam's like legacy either,
Mm-hmm.
Like if we want to consider him as one of the, pound for pound greatest of all times, he should be taking on challenges that are the actual top competitors, the actual new up and comers to be able to say he's like cleared out the division, you know?
Mhm.
Otherwise, there's always going to be that asterisk where he's like, well, yes, he has these wins, but he never fought X, Y, and Z. He never fought this person. He never did that. So it'll be kind of it'll put a blemish on his record that's not really fair to say.
Ugh, I've got I because I have a weird I agree, but I have
Mhm.
so many questions. So, like, one
Okay,
let me pose the 3 questions, and you
great.
can get to them as you see fit. One is, like, we said, "Hey, Dustin Poirier is, like, past his prime, but we're so glad he's getting this title shot, even if it's, like, a charity title shot overall." And we were excited for that, yet I feel like you and I, and most of the MMA, like, fan base is not as excited about a Justin kind of getting the same, "Hey, here's your last shot, old man. We don't anticipate you'll win, but we hope you do for Islam." That's question
Mhm.
number 1. Like, how do you feel about that? Because I have a hard, like, time navigating that.
It is really, uh it does feel hypocritical for me to say that,
Mhm,
especially since, like Dustin basically had the same opportunities. Actually, he had more opportunities,
mhm.
to fight for the US for the lightweight championship and lost them. So it's like, you know, like just by sheer opportunity, you know, then he's had the same opportunities. We were like very happy about them. Why I wouldn't give it to Justin Gaethje? I don't. That is kind of hard. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because
I mean, he
you
got
know
flatlined by Max Holloway
he did.
1 fight ago,
I mean, he did beat Rafael Fiziev after that, but
who came off an ACL surgery, 2 years on the bench, man.
that's true.
He's had 1 fight since then.
Yeah, yeah, and I
Why
mean,
not give it to Max?
yeah, yeah. I mean, you could say Max has earned it more, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough thing because even then, like Max only had one fight at lightweight, and while
Mhm,
he won a like emphatic and historic, fight, it's still only one, but they're all at this point where it's like, hey, every fight counts right now,
mhm,
and if we said, okay, Justin, you have to have one more win.
mhm,
Let's say he fights next month and he fights
mhm,
and wins. Okay. Quick ass turnaround time. But say he did it. It would still mean, okay, you've now earned your title shot. And that's not gonna happen for what? 4 months, 5 months, end of the
mhm.
year, you know, at what? 37? What is he now?
I think he's
36.
36. Yeah.
36. So he'll be 37 at the end of this year. That's
Mhm.
still you're still
Old as
counting down the times,
shit for 155, yeah.
Yeah, and for the amount of wars he's been in and, like, his losses have been, like all of his losses have been either submissions or knockouts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It does you bring up a really good point in that we were happy that Dustin got his shot. So why shouldn't we be happy that Justin wouldn't get a shot too?
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
it's more just the connotation right now for me with, like, who is actually in the lightweight division, who's coming up, the newer faces, Like, I still
Mhm.
think, you know but it's all the same thing, like, if Max got a shot or Charles got a shot, like, there are all these people who I want to
Yeah.
have title
Is the
shots, but why not Justin? That is a
yeah,
really good question, actually.
is the real sticking point, if not Ilya, who can beat Ilya? Would everything feel better if Charles beat Ilya, Justin beat Ilya, Max beat Ilya, that they would then fight Islam? Like, is Ilya the real is he the boogeyman lurking around in the shadows and the corners of this division where we go, Islam, you gotta be fighting him, which is really strange because we have also Arman Sarukian in there who had a title shot and now is just seemingly out of the title picture.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they said he has to now re-earn it. He has to get another win,
I
so
know, which is fucking stupid as shit.
yeah.
Like, it's yeah, I don't know. Like, if here's the thing, if Islam doesn't fight any of those guys, what would be the best fight for Ilya to take before fighting Islam?
honestly, any one of those you said, not Max because we've already seen that, but like,
Yep.
Islam versus Charles Oliveira. Oh
Mhm.
man, that would be that would be insane.
No, Ilya versus Charles Oliveira,
Oh,
right?
Ilya. I'm sorry, Ilya.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Ilya?
know I said
Yeah.
Islam, but in my head I
No,
said Ilya.
but you gotta pick one. You can't say any of them. It's Dan Hooker, it's Charles Oliveira, it's Arman Tsarukyan, it's Justin Gaethje. Any of those dudes against Ilya, which one is the one that you're like, "I wanna see that fight the most?" Because we might only get 3 or 4 fights out of Ilya. So which one do you wanna see the most?
Either Ilya and Armin or Ilya and Charles.
I think Charles is probably better,
I mean,
right?
you're gonna get in that one. You're gonna get like, hey, you're gonna get insane stand up, and what's gonna happen is Ilya's probably is gonna stumble or knock Charles down, and that's gonna turn into an insane ground game where either
Mhm,
Ilya will like continue to rain down ground and pound on Charles, or Charles will finally force Ilya into a grappling exchange that we'll actually get to see. Hey,
mhm.
is Ilya actually as good on the ground as we think he is? Because Charles is gonna first try to just throw and stand and bang with him,
Yeah.
and Charles tends to get wobbled, and against a heavy hitter like Ilya, it's probably going to happen. But then we'll see, like, okay, then Charles always brings out some crazy, weird, reverse or positioning on the ground, and then it becomes really exciting, because
Mhm.
then he lands some shots or he puts someone else in an uncomfortable position. Armand, I think, will just go for like some wrestling, and
Yeah.
it'll force again Ilya to respond either with counter grappling or okay, we're going to the ground. Let's see what Ilya actually does on the ground.
Well, and Armand's a big motherfucker,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
worry that it'll be a little lane prey. So, okay, we've got Charles versus Ilya, Armand versus maybe Justin Gaethje, maybe Dan Hooker, who knows? And then they fight, Islam. That's our ideal as fans, as longtime watchers of the sport. This is what we wanna see.
Yep.
Colin, what do you think is most likely to actually happen
For
at
Ilya,
155? No, just at 155. Who will fight Islam next, and who will be the number 1 contender fight?
I think it will be. Oh man, God, anything I make right now, someone's left out.
Of course. Well, this is the UFC way. I'm
Yeah,
asking you, what do you think the UFC will actually do?
I think I think they'll give it to Justin.
Yeah.
'Cause Justin's got a
Uh,
big fan base, and like
yeah.
I think, and he is still ranked third. And
Yeah, but
then
we saw what happened with Khabib,
yeah,
man. Like,
yeah,
it's
I
not
know,
gonna be any better.
and I think Armon will fight Max if they make him actually fight for a number one title contender again.
Probably.
And,
Or
and that means just Charles is just left on the sidelines, which kind of sucks. But then Charles could
yeah.
fight Ilya maybe, and then that would be another.
I do truly think that it will be I think you nailed it. Islam versus Justin, and then Max versus Poirier. I think
Oh yeah,
Charles
yeah, yeah.
Oliveira will fight, um, Ilia Topuria, and
Mhm.
then I think it'll be Arman Tsarukyan and Dan Hooker, man.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's kind of the situation that it's gonna be.
Yeah, I didn't consider
Um,
that. Okay, okay.
yeah, which, like, why do you wanna see Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker?
Yeah,
Like, of all the permutations, you've picked the worst one, but I think that's what the UFC will go with. Um,
I could
yeah,
totally see that happening.
yeah. It's a real bummer because lightweight is on fire right now, and it's, like, so hard to mismatch it and mismanage it, and I have a super
And that's
strong
exactly
feeling.
what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Yes, I feel like the UFC will, like, purposely mismanage it, and then we'll be watching this going like, "Holy shit, imagine the 8 other permutations we could have had where every one of these fights would have been bangers, and we're gonna have half the fights be bangers and half be absolutely dog shit fights."
Mhm.
Um, what a bummer, dude. What a bummer. Uh, yeah, but that's UFC. I mean, we jumped off of this whole conversation off of UFC 317. Um, if it isn't Ilya and Islam, what is the second biggest fight the UFC can make for you as a fan for
For
International Fight Week?
For me specifically as a fan.
Yes.
Um, yeah, fuck it. The rematch of Ankalaev and Pereira.
Oh, shit. So no Jones, no Aspinall,
No, I don't care about that.
and no Max Holloway BMF title fight.
That would also be good. But I think they're trying to do that. I think now that I'm thinking about it, when they announce, I think it's rumored to be in Louisiana for like Dustin Poirier's like retirement fight, basically.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
I think that would be good.
I would say, as a fan, UFC 317, if it was the BMF 5-round title fight, Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway, that's the best fight you can make. If it's not Islam and Ilya.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah. Or, dude, bring Volk out again. Let's just have Volk fight immediately again. Fuck it. Why not? That'd be good. That'd be good. Yeah, 317, weird. We are what? 5 weeks? 6 weeks out?
No.
from
We're
this?
2 months out. June, end of June.
Bro, 2 months.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo, like, fucking fight tour was 5 months in advance.
Mm-hmm.
The like, they don't even announce fights 2 months out. You can't even get excited for a fight basically 2 weeks out from it. It's fucking nuts. Anyway, that's UFC 317. What we know of it. Maybe it's Hamzat Chimaev, Kai Bahalio. If it is, fucking riot. That's a dog shit main event. Yeah. Anyway, what else are we talking about, Colin?
All right. Well, this got me just like, it was one of those like stupid social media posts that's like not supposed to mean anything, but it actually got me thinking about this, and it's like kind of funny the rabbit hole I went down and just like my random stupid ass mind here. So ESPN's MMA Instagram account posted this. Is like, hey, if you were like you're going to get into a fight and you had these two fighters backing you up, who would you pick?
Mhm.
So let's paint the picture. Let's say you're coming out the gym. You had a
Yep.
great session. You're sweaty. You've got your bag slung over your shoulder and you've got your rehydration drink in your hand, shaking it. You walk out the gym door and outside you see 10 guys, and they're all there and a fight is happening. You're not talking your way out of this. No one's nothing. You're going to fight. And the two people who walk out of the gym with you, okay? And these are your teammates and this is what they see and they're ready with you. Who are you picking in this fight? Here are the duos, okay? Izzy and Pereira. That's one duo. Who your partners who are coming out to back you up. Khabib and Islam.
Okay.
Anderson Silva, GSP. Gaethje and Poirier. Nate Diaz and Connor. And then the most random one ESPN MMA picked. Tyron Woodley and Kamaru Usman.
Now look, there's one man that stands above the rest when it comes to intimidation factor. Who walking out of a door frame, you go, oh my God, how did he fit through that door? And that's motherfucking Poatan Alex Bahera.
Yeah.
If that dude walked towards me at a fucking Baskin Robbins and spoke the lines, I'd like to try cake batter, please, I'd shit my pants. He's the most terrifying human on earth. So I think it's gotta be Izzy Poatan because everyone else can just be mistaken as an absolute jabroni. You can't mistake Poatan as a jabroni. He's built out of stone and seemingly is between 6 foot and 6'9", depending on who he fights. His weight or his height oscillates. He's always bigger than whoever he's fighting. Am I wrong, Colin?
No, so I was like at first like glance. Like let's say none of these guys knew who these fighters were. Like Poatan is definitely one of the most intimidating people you would see just walking out, just like his stature and everything. But like I'm thinking like, okay, if we actually got into a fight, say these fuckers didn't know anything, Izzy would probably be able to take on like 2 or 3 at once, and he'd probably like have them chasing around, and he'd do something. Like, I'm good. He's got 2 or 3. If I just like fight for long enough, all Poatan has to do is just punch or kick each person once. He lands one strike and done.
Just calf kick each one of them. Yeah.
I just have to basically play tag for as long as that takes
Mhm.
Peloton, and then I'm good. Like I'm fine. I can run for that. I don't have great cardio, but I have enough that I can just be like, I'll like drive by Bass Peloton, and he just stick his big ass stone fist out and kill 3 more people as he will
Yeah.
do his thing. So like, that's fine. Khabib is. I thought about this for a long time, like inappropriately long time. Like Khabib and Islam are just absolutely insane. Like I know, like in the end, they would like destroy anyone they fought, but I would have to like get my hands a little bit dirty too. Like I know
Mhm.
what would happen. Like I for some reason right before I saw this or saw this post, rewatched the Khabib and Conor fight, and I forgot that he like after he destroyed Conor, he like went after Conor's corner and jumped out of the cage
Oh,
and jumped
yeah.
into the crowd to start like beating the shit out of his coaches. Like
Yeah.
I forgot how insane Khabib was at that time. Like, and rightfully so, like Connor did throw a chair at the bus and everything and like injure one of his quartermen or something. So like, but they're both like
Well, and he
insane
called his
guys too.
wife a rat,
Yeah.
like, he, like, went after his religion and the appearance of his wife, like, I don't know. Connor fucked up hugely in that fight in the
Yeah.
whole way he approached it, but also, like, Khabib is, like, of any of the people in that camp, he's not the motherfucker to deal with, like, mess with. He'll come after you and take your
Yeah.
soul, which he did against Connor, and that's why Connor is buried in a mountain of powdered sugar dust or whatever you want to refer to it as. Like, there's a reason why he basically fully exited the game, and I
Yeah.
think it has to do with Khabib.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just going down like Silva and GSP, it would be a very like
No,
technical fight.
yeah, they're very good at winning sports related fights, but like I don't know how good GSP would be at winning like a real nasty dirty fight. You
Yeah.
know?
Because he's
Like
not a nasty, dirty fighter.
yeah, like Khabib and Islam feel like they would like rip people's teeth and eyeballs out of their heads. GSP is like, well, I outpointed you. You should concede. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, that's why I'd also go with Poton because Poton feels like he just bop everyone on the head and knock them unconscious and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're dead now.
Yeah.
Which is
It'd be
what you
over
want.
instantly. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what you want, right?
Gaethje and
It's like,
Poirier though. Oh yeah, go ahead.
yeah, Gaethje and Poirier might fuck people up. Well, it's what I was gonna say is like that's why you would want like George Foreman to back you up rather than Muhammad Ali.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Muhammad
Yeah.
Ali would, like, outpoint and, like, outskill and definitely knock people out, but George Foreman would just come out there and club motherfuckers' jaws off the side of their faces, right? And that's what you want. You just want a dude who's gonna come out there and be like, Guess what, fools? I'm here to break bones and take names." And that's what you want out of your fighters. You don't want GSP and Anderson Silva, amazing fighters when it comes to, like, a sporting context, but they seem like nice dudes. They just wanna play, like, fucking bridge and drink tea together, right?
Yeah.
They're not out here to, like, wreck people's lives. Whereas, like you said, Poton,
Yes.
Islam, I mean, Justin Gaethje even, a nice family man, but that dude seems like he's ready to actually wreck someone's whole day if need be,
Yeah.
and that's what I want in my corner. I
Oh yeah.
want a dude who's ready. I want them like Chewbacca, right? When you go like, "We're gonna blow up the Death Star," they're like, "Yeah, I'm about it. I don't even ask questions. I'm like ready to fucking go." That's what I want. I want someone who's about it. And Dustin,
Justin
Justin,
Justin would fuck. Yeah.
yeah,
It would be
they'd
like
fuck
as
shit up.
they would be the first one. I feel like if I came out of the gym and then they came out behind me, they would just be like throw their bags down and sprint forward. Like they're not,
Yeah,
there's no second guessing. They're just like, I'm gonna fuck someone up now.
yeah,
Like,
exactly, exactly. And that's what you want.
yeah,
You want to have the most, right? You don't want to have like fucking, like I'm sure Ryan Hall could rip everyone's knees apart
yeah,
because he's the best Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter that's ever been in the UFC. But like, you don't want him backing you up at a bar. You want fucking Keith Jardine. You want an insane man who's about to be like, I don't know what I'm really doing, but I know I want to hurt this person, and that's what you want. You want someone who's just bad about it.
yeah. It was
Yeah,
just I thought about this way too long. I was like, I have to ask Stu. Like,
Well,
I want to make sure.
who is your lowest ranked group of people?
Okay, here's the thing. It has to be either Tyron Woodley and Kamaru Usman, just because, like, again, why and like, what are they gonna do? But or Nate Diaz, because it's more likely they're gonna fight each other
Nah,
than fucking the other
nah.
people.
It's gotta be Kamaru Usman and Tyron Woodley because Tyron Woodley in a professional fight had one of the I think actually for a UFC champion, I'll need to double check this. I know he's at least in the bottom 5. Tyron Woodley had the bottom 5 out like significant strike output of any fighter, and Kamaru Usman was
Mhm.
not far away. They threw so few strikes.
Yeah.
Like, dude, do they both look super jacked coming off the bus? Do they look good? Do they look intimidating? Hell yeah. And me being a 5'3" white dude with 2 giant African American men, I'll look pretty cool. But both of their knees are shot, and I know both of them throw about 1 strike per minute. They're not winning in a street fight.
Yeah.
That's not how you intimidate 10 people. I need a madman, which is why I'd pick Connor and Nate over them because
Oh, okay.
Nate Diaz would say some unintelligible shit and march forward. Conor McGregor would do the biggest bag of coke you've ever seen in your life and start throwing punches all willy-nilly, which is what I'd love to see. That's what you need when you need someone to back you up. You need someone who takes a line like fucking Willy Wonka all the way in. Everlasting gobstopper line of cocaine and then just start throwing left hands. And that's what I want. Um, yeah. No, but
Okay.
in reality, you definitely want fucking Poeton and Izzy, or you want Islam and Khabib.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 groups of motherfuckers you want supporting you.
Okay. I've got one more duo that wasn't on this list, but I
One
think is
more.
still, yeah, one more. Okay, because these are all like bigger guys, and you and I,
Yeah.
we're not big guys. Okay.
Tiny, tiny boys.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I've got one. All right. And they're still a lot bigger than us, but whatever. Uh Max and Volk.
Now here's the thing. Max is Hawaiian,
Yeah.
and Volk is like a seems like Volk. I know you don't listen to this podcast, but if you did, like a filthy Australian. Did I ever tell you the story about a Hawaiian friend I had in college?
No, what?
He was Hawaiian, but like not Max Hawaiian. Like, hold on, let me back up. You'll occasionally meet Hawaiians who are like Samoan or
Pacific
Tongan,
Islander.
Pacific
Yeah.
Islander,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
big motherfuckers,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
They're like, let's say 5'7", yet they weigh 290. Huge dudes.
Yeah. Shit house. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a brick shithouse. There's a reason why Pacific Islanders, compared to the percentage of population that is in the world, is the most over-indexed in professional sports because these motherfuckers are big. I had a friend in college just named Kai. I won't use the last name. At a bar with a couple of Navy guys and Marines. Uh, Stuff got crazy. A guy picked up a beer bottle to threaten myself and Kai. Kai took it out of his hand and then broke it on his own head and simply said, "What are you about?" And people backed the fuck off of him. Like, and he was totally fine. It did not phase him that a beer bottle got broken over his head, that he did it to himself, but he just picked it out of the man's hand like he was just taking a bottle from a baby, broke it on his own head, and said, "What are you about?" Um, so I think Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski would be a great pick. I think it'd be a great pick. Actually, the 2 Tafa brothers, Justin Tafa and Junior Tafa, did I pick them? They're not very good, but they're big Hawaiian boys, and like, goddamn, they might be able to fuck people up right, like proper.
Yeah, yeah.
I might pick them. I might pick them.
All right, all right.
I still think of Kai routinely. with his big dude. He truly had a head like 3 times the size of mine. Um, a massive man, a truly massive man overall. Yeah.
Kai, if you ever listen to this, you're a legend, man.
I hope
That's
reach
awesome.
out to me. I haven't been in contact with you for at least 12 years. Like, pl- please text me. I miss you, brother. Like, let's
You can text him too, man.
yeah, man. No. I don't know what his number is anymore. I have texted him recently. Not recently. I guess in the past 5 years. I invited him to my wedding. Never heard a response. I don't know what's going on with Kai. Maybe he broke one too many bottles over his head, and it finally caught up with him. Who's to say?
I was gonna say, you know what he meant. That's not the first time a bottle broke on his head,
Yeah.
whether it was self-induced or not. Like you know, that experience with it.
Oh, dude, the level of calmness he had about the situation too. Like I was like, oh shit, the situation's popping off. Where are the exits? Where's my footing? I want to make sure I don't trip over anything. And he just reached out, took a beer bottle out of another man's hand, and was like, this is mine now. And then broke it over his own head and said, like, what about that? Come on, brothers. And I was like, uh-oh. That guy's bad about it, and I'm not as bad about it as I thought I was. That guy's ready to go right now. Yeah. Anyway,
That's
Kai,
great.
reach out to me. Miss you, brother. So
Fantastic.
I'm gonna pick Max and Volk. Actually, now that I've like talked myself in circles around this story, it's Max and Volk. I think they'll probably kill anyone they set their minds to. Yeah. Max and Volk. I think that's it. I think especially because Max is unkillable unless you're Illytoporia. So 10 men, I could see Max by himself taking out 10 men because you can't break that chin, dude.
Yeah.
And I'll be there on the sidelines being like, get him, Max, get him. And hopefully that'll inspire him to beat the shit out of those dudes even more. Yeah. Anything else, Colin?
Nah, I mean nothing really. I saw another thing also. Patty Pimblett is apparently 40 pounds heavier than he was. Michael Chandler. So.
Look, that Ricky Hatton life can't be good for you, but
No.
he keeps winning. So what can I say?
Yeah, I mean,
like, look, we know empirically through the data, through all of our years of watching combat sports, that this can only lead to one end, which is sadness and defeat. Yet here's the thing. We thought that we were there fight after fight after fight. And Patty somehow has continued to defy the odds. So I guess it's ride or die with Patty, right?
Look, I guess so. Like, I thought, by 30 years old, he wouldn't be able to do this. And he even mentioned, like, yeah, I'm taking things seriously. I don't balloon as much anymore. But like, this is not seem to be like that. Who knows? Maybe Patty Pimblett's superpower is to just do this insane weight gain and loss. Not like smart, just being like, I like eating and being a fat guy, which, hey, more power to you, and being able to drop all
I
that
love
and
it. I love it.
And finding ways to win. Maybe this is his power, just like how College Prentice's ability to drink and smoke and still perform at a high level is like, okay, like some people we say are built different, and this is your built different, I guess. Like, I don't know.
So is the reason why I was so late to the Carlos Prentice bandwagon and why I'm still not on the Patty bandwagon or the Patty wagon, if you will,
Oh
is
my God.
because I'm jealous, because I choose to live my life like them, and yet I'm just a fat piece of shit, and they're elite level MMA fighters.
I mean, isn't that how all professional sports are? It's like, well, if only I was 6'8", I too could be in the NBA. It's like, no, motherfucker. Like,
Yeah. It's a real bummer. It's a
it is.
real bummer.
It is.
It's kind of cool though. I do like Patty Pimblett in a weird way is the new Roy Nelson. You know what I mean? Like, just a fat motherfucker with not a lot of skill, but who just keeps winning, and you're kinda like, "You know what? Roy Nelson was a little bit easier to get behind because he wore his fatness with pride, whereas Patty has the audacity to lose weight and be absolutely shredded under the fatness." Um, but yeah, it's, I don't know, every day my heart gets a little warmer to Patty, and that makes me a little bit sadder as a human, and I don't know why. Um, I'll have to examine myself to figure that out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, look, I kinda like Patty as a person. He seems very endearing and, like, a
No,
nice guy overall, you know?
no, 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 no. He
But
filleted Dana White on, like, his own podcast at one point, and,
oh,
like,
I didn't see that.
Dana White is so grotesque, like, I can't be a part of that noise,
Yeah,
but his haircut's stupid. He's a big goober. He beat Michael Chandler, which we love.
yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
everyone,
he
we l
destroyed Michael Chandler.
yeah,
Like,
we
let's not.
love that on the 2 5 Fans podcast. If you beat Michael Chandler, oh, chef's kiss, marron. We love that shit. That's fantastic. Uh, yeah. Anyway, but him ballooning up in weight, I too wish I could balloon up in weight and still be a athletic freak. Here's the thing, I lost 25 pounds so far this year. It's
Hey.
motherfucking April. I worked hard, and I'm 5'3". 25 pounds is like 55% of my body weight. I'm tiny. Uh, and yet I look nothing like Patty Pimblett. I could not beat Michael Chandler. So all Patty Pimblett does is remind me of my flaws as a man. So I have a hard time rooting for him.
Hey, listen, when we were younger, for those who don't know, Stu and I trained a lot together. And when you were
Yeah.
younger, man, and you were, as you have said, cut up from the butt up, like you were athletic. You were going,
Yeah.
you were like,
130 pounds dripping
yeah,
wet.
yeah,
And now
yeah.
I am 180 pounds dripping wet because I was 200 pounds dripping wet. And here's the thing, legitimately, I am 5'4". 200 pounds of 5'4". I don't know if you look at the whole like BMI index, which is like slightly fraudulent, but also like that classifies as morbidly obese. It's not a great look when you're walking around at 5'3" and morbidly obese. It's not great. It's not great.
Hey,
Anyway,
you're working on yourself right now. I'm proud of you. Good job
that's
on those
right.
25 pounds, man. Keep it up. Doing
Thank
good.
you. I got to my, current my not my total PR in life because I am an old man, but my current PR for squats, 275 pounds for 2
Hey,
reps.
there you
Not
go.
bad.
That's
I can
good. That's
still
good.
I can lift shit. I can lift
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. What else is there to talk about, Colin?
That's all I had there. I don't know. You got
Holy
anything?
shit, that's all you've got? Let's talk about the boxing schedule that's coming up
Oh.
over the next 3 months
Oh,
because
yeah. Yeah.
we gotta talk about this shit. It's so good. And I'm not even talking about the entirety of it, just the ones that we give a shit about. That means we're getting
Yeah.
rid of co-main events, no Jake Paul,
Yeah,
no
fuck that.
spurious nonsense. This weekend, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Connor Ben. I don't know if you've been following this, Colin, but
Nope.
this is like the most classic. So Chris Eubank Sr. and Connor Ben's father, what is his name? Something Ben? I mostly know it as Eubank Sr. and Ben, was like a classic British rivalry in boxing. And now both of their sons, trained by both of them, are fighting uh in
That's
12
pretty
rounds.
awesome.
Yeah. And
That's
like
incredible.
the the trash talk and the like overall press conference has been straight nasty. So this should be pretty good. I'm
Alright,
into it.
alright.
We then have Ryan Garcia off
Yeah.
of his insane
Dude,
bender.
that weekend is insane.
Yes,
Keep
in
going, but I
Times
just saw
Square.
this. Holy shit.
Yeah, we're not even gonna talk about the other fights on that card. Just this one. But that card itself, when we get to there, May 2nd, is fucking bananas in Times Square. But it is headlined by Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. Dude, this is going to be fucking fireworks. It's
Alright.
gonna be so good. Now, the day after it, Do we have the biggest letdown on the boxing calendar? Yeah, we do. It's Canelo Alvarez versus William Skull. Who gives a shit? No one give Alvarez your money. Get out of there. But the day after that, so that's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. On Sunday, who do we
Yeah.
have? Our boy, the
My boy.
monster, Inoue, fighting against Roman Cardenas, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's do it. We'd love to see Inoue.
Yeah.
Dude, watch the Monster Feast. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Apparently, though,
Following
that
week,
card has not been selling very well in Vegas. Really upsetting and disappointing, but also like, yeah, you guys haven't promoted this at all. So like,
yeah.
what do you think is
So
gonna
like,
fucking happen?
yeah, who gives a shit, right? Like, it doesn't matter. We're just here to watch Inoue, whether it performs well or not. He's got a massive contract with Saudi.
Yep.
Saudi's putting it in Vegas. Fuck it, right? If we can extract wealth from Saudi Arabia and put it into the pockets of our good boxing friends, Inoue and Cardenas,
Yep.
that's what I'm about. I'm
All
about
right.
the redistribution of wealth from the ultra elite to the fighting man. That's what I'm about.
Good.
Following weekend, we've got Emmanuel Navarrete versus Charlie Suarez. Good fight overall. We'll probably watch it. We'll talk about it then. And then we also have Junto Nakatani versus Ryosuke Nishida. These are the next 2 weekends. These are very good fights. We should all watch them. And they actually have pretty decent undercards. But the one that we really want to talk about, because all of these are pay-per-view, ESPN Plus, DAZN, whatever, is free on Netflix.
Yep.
Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, the trilogy between them on Netflix. I mean, the best boxing fight that has ever aired on Netflix. We're getting the trilogy for it. Free, July 11th.
Yeah.
How excited are you for that one, Colin?
I didn't know that was actually officially announced until I just looked at the schedule now. So yeah, that'll be good.
So fucking good. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for that. And here's the thing. Put together by none other than Jake Paul. Colin, as much as we hate Jake Paul,
Yep.
and we hate his own individual boxing career,
Yep.
how much credit do we have to give him for giving these women and giving less recognized boxers a platform to succeed in this kind of modern era of boxing?
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny that he is actually doing that. You know, whether it's him directly or his motion company, whatever. Like it's happening, and you can't deny the opportunity that that they are providing. So yeah, it's good. It's good all around. You know, I will hold reservation for now, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to divorce kind of Jake Paul the fighter from Jake Paul the promoter, but Jake Paul the promoter has been doing some good shit for boxing overall, and I'm happy that he's here doing this stuff, even if I don't want to watch him fight overall. July 12th, Shakur Stevenson back against William Zepeda. That should be a great fight overall, and possibly setting up Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis, which would be fantastic.
Yeah. Yep.
So boxing is looking fucking hot for the remainder of this half year.
I know we said last year that maybe last year was the year of boxing, but it's continuing the trend. So boxing remains good. Boxing is good.
Oh, so fucking good, dude. I'm so excited for the remainder. Like, May through July is going to be, Thanksgiving dinner every fucking month for boxing. I'm excited. Especially because the UFC is bringing absolute dog shit for a lot of their cards. So, excited overall for boxing before summer. Anyway, what do we got coming up, Colin? We've got a UFC card this weekend, which we'll talk about on Friday. Who's on this card?
Dude, I haven't even looked it up. Who is on this card? Tell me.
Well, we got our cigarette smoking, whiskey drinking, steak eating
Oh,
Carlos
yes.
Prates against Ian Machado Gary. Fantastic. This might be maybe not a number one contender fight, but definitely a top contender fight in the welterweight division. Who else we got on this card? Ooh, shit. Anthony Smith against Zhang Ming Yang in his retirement fight. Ugh. Giga Jakadze versus David Onama. Michelle Pereira and Abus Magomedov. So really, we've got one or two fights.
Carlos Paredes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about all we got. But we also have Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. in boxing this weekend.
Yeah.
So we've got something to look forward to. 2 fights. We will talk about 2 fights plus some extra on Friday. Overall, I don't know, Colin. If you were Dana White, what would you do with International Fight Week?
I mean, if I control everything, yeah, Alien Islam, do it.
Bingo.
Fucking do it.
That's it. You hear that, Dana? Colin said Ilya versus Islam, so you should listen to him. All right, everybody. This has been 2 Fight Fans Podcast. I'm 1 Fight Fan Stuart.
I'm your other Colin.
And it should be Islam and Ilya. And if they don't give that to you, fucking riot. Like, what else are we doing here, guys? Absolutely riot. All right, everybody. Bye.
Do it.